If you have a goal of hitting diamond by the end of the year, you really want to hit Success Club this month, because the way the promo works is you have to hit Success Club October, November, December, and hit diamond this year, and you get $250. So you don't want to like hit diamond in November and then you miss Success Club in October and you're not eligible for that 250, because that would just kind of be crappy, you know? So keep that in mind. And the last day to qualify for that would be November 23rd, Thanksgiving, in order to get the diamond promo, because you have to hold it 6 weeks by the end of the year. So the last day to get it is November. If you hit diamond by November 23rd and you hit Success Club all 3 months, it's a $250 bonus. Okay, what else? Where are we at for Success Club? I'm just going to read out everybody who's about 4 or above. Adrian is at 4. Jen Houston is at 10. Who just hopped on? Someone else? Did we hit someone else up there? I got, who's my 925?
Hey,
Hey, who are you?
Stacy.
Oh, hey, I'm like, your voice sounds, are you still sick?
Yeah, I think I have a sinus infection.
Oh my gosh, you sound, oh, and she still hopped on. I love it. This.
Well, I'm in bed. I'm not gonna lie,
I love it. You
I'm
should
on.
be in bed. Yeah, I would be in bed too, but you're still on the call, and that says a lot. It's kind of like everything I'm going to talk about today is what right now, what you just did. I love it. Okay, so we got Adrian at 4. Jen, I'm reading out Success Club 4 and above. Jen is at 10. Natasha 8. Kristen's at 4. Sammy 8. We've got a lot of people at 2 who definitely can get there, and even if you're at 0, we have a few more days left of the month. And I'm going to do a power hour. So I want to explain what that is, you guys. A power hour is where we set the timer for an hour. I am going to write down a list of names. I'm going to show you guys where to get a list of names for yourself. I'm going to put everybody on mute. And I'm literally going to say, okay, guys, we're going to send messages for an hour. And we're just going to all look at each other. And it's so nice because I'll tell you, when somebody else is there, like Jen and I did it together yesterday, but you can do it virtually. When someone else is there doing the same thing as you, it's a lot harder to get distracted. I need to turn my notifications off. It's a lot harder to get distracted and make excuses so that you feel like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to finish, or you get a bad message, like someone sends you a message that's not so nice, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. When you've got everybody else on the line, and you can kind of share a couple things here and there, it's a lot easier to get through it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on Tuesday, if you guys can hop on. And I have another one on Thursday to start November off strong. Okay, this is important, so pay attention. November to remember starts November 1. Do you guys know how you can get 3 Success Club points for something? Do you know? Kristen does. Okay, this is cool, guys. How do you get 3 Success Club points, Kristen?
If you sell the new Tony Horton, I can't remember the name of it. Double time. Yes. If that's included.
Double time challenge pack. So let me explain. I know we're gonna have a lot of questions about this, but that's correct. It's worth 3 Success Club points. So you only need to sell 2 to hit Success Club next month, which is kind of cool. What does that package come with? Okay, so there's a couple options on it, but I'm going to go through the very first one. That's the one that you're probably going to end up selling. It comes with Shakeology or Daily Sunshine. You can pick whichever one you want. It comes with a ball, because you need the ball in the workouts. Okay, it comes with all access, so you still get all the other workouts, you guys. You buy the double time, you still get all the other workouts. Here's the one little catch, and this is important. I don't care if we like it or not, because I'm not going to tell you guys how I feel about this last part, but that doesn't matter. It is what it is. It does not come with containers. It comes with a ball. So they are going to have to buy the container separately. So it's about $14 more. Okay. Keep that in mind. So they're going to have to buy the container separate and the package. Everything else, they're fine. They're going to have access to every workout. They're going to have Shakeology. They'll have a shaker cup. or Daily Sunshine, whichever one they want. They'll have all that's the same, and they get the ball, but they don't get the portion control container. So they have to buy them separately, which, correct me if I'm wrong, are they $14.99, you guys? Yeah, they're $14.99, I believe. Okay, so 3 points for those. What else? The other thing I'm going to tell you, if you've been hesitant about signing up for a team, there's not a lot of people signing up. So you never know. Like, what if you end up getting 20 SC and you're one of the highest? Like, they're really struggling getting people to sign up because I think it's November and people are nervous and it's Thanksgiving. So I say sign up. Who cares if you lose? Like, what's the big deal? You aren't going to get the 1,000 if you don't sign up. So find a partner, sign up. And even if you just sell a few of them, you're getting 3 points for that pack. So I would say sign up for it. Jess and I are doing it together. I know, Kristen, you're signed up. Stace, are you planning on doing it?
I was undecided.
You might want to reach out to Teal because I know she has a big November goal.
Okay.
It'd be fun just to like pump each other up maybe. Susie, are you planning on doing it? I know Susie's are you muted, Susie? Okay, I unmuted you. Susie, are you going to do November to remember?
I hadn't really given it much thought, but I probably should.
I would. What can it hurt? It'd be fun just to, be a part of it. Jen, how about you? Jen and Jennifer. I got both.
Which Jen?
Let's do Jen Houston and then Jennifer. I can hear you because you're in the other room. Awesome. What about you, Jennifer?
I didn't think about it too much, but I will. I just don't have a partner, so.
Just post on Team Inspired. Or maybe I should just link you and Susie right now. What do you guys think?
That works for me.
Yeah, Susie? That's good. You guys? Awesome. Mm-hmm. There we go. Obviously, you're both on the call, so you know what the heck's happening. You don't have to explain it to each other. Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about today's topic, which is coach. Before we get into it, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an assignment. I want you can write it down or you can just think it in your head. Think about I'm not going to have you share. So I want you guys to be really honest. Sometimes I feel like when I have to share a goal, I hold back a little. I'm not going to have you share. Your 30-day goal as a Beachbody coach, your 6-month goal as a Beachbody coach, and your 3-year goal as a Beachbody. And not 3 years in the business, 3 years from today. 3 years from today. I want you guys to really think about what would be a goal that you not just would make you happy, but a goal that you could commit yourself to. Okay. Then I started thinking about what are the fundamental activities of this business. So I'm just going to unmute you guys. And if someone's really loud, I'll mute it back, but throw some stuff at me. What are some fundamental activities of this business? Nobody?
Well, the vital behaviors, obviously.
Like that's the first place to start. Yeah.
Consistency.
Consistency, yeah. Consistency of what? So what activities?
Just following through with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Daily.
Yeah, what else? I heard something else.
Shakeology?
Yeah, drink it, use it. Yeah, absolutely. Be proof the products work. All of the stuff that you guys said, right? It's the basics. It's inviting, recruiting, be proof the products work, the vital behaviors. You have to train and lead your people, hit Success Club, and participate in challenge groups. What's interesting when I thought about a CEO, at first I was thinking to be a CEO of your business, it means that you have to work more. I actually don't believe that. I believe it's a mindset. The difference between a hobby coach and a CEO of your business is simply one thing, and that's mindset. It comes down to that. My point is, you might not be able to hit a crazy income goal in 3 years if you don't work a little more. So I'm not saying that you're always going to be able to pull your big goals off with just 30 minutes a day. But that's not the difference between a hobby coach and a CEO. It really comes down to mindset. You can't have that attitude of, I'm going to act this way now, but then when I'm making the money, I'll do this differently, because you'll never actually get there. And I think sometimes it's easy to think, I'll do this now, but I'll change this later. You'll never get to that later. And the biggest difference between a coach and a CEO, or a hobby coach and a CEO, is one thing. I wrote this down. I was like going to make a list of things, and I wrote it down and I couldn't get past it. Like this kept coming back to this. And it's simply excuses. Excuses of why you can't hit your own goal that you set for yourself. So when I dived into that more, it was really cool, because I don't know if you guys saw on the challenge, I have the topics for every single day that I'm going to be talking about. And one of the topics coming up that I'm covering with our challengers is excusitis. I think Kristen dubbed that word from one of her posts. So I have to cover this topic anyways, and everything I'm going to tell you, it's going to be the same stuff I'm going to talk to them about, like probably a little more condensed. But I'm going to go over some of the different kinds of excuses that are out there. And here's what I want you to do. I went through this, guys, and I can't tell you how many of them I'm like, oh my God, I've been there. So just kind of think about it for yourself. I'm not going to put you on the spot unless you want to share. First one is the false choice loophole. I can't do this because I'm so busy doing that. Number 2, moral licensing loophole. This is a good one. I've been so good, it's okay for me to do this. I think about that one a lot with like health and fitness. I've been so good, it's totally fine if I do this. But even with business, I sent so many messages yesterday. It's totally fine if I don't do what I'm supposed to do today, what I said I was going to do today. The tomorrow loophole. It's okay to skip today because I'm going to do this tomorrow. It's okay, I have a big day planned tomorrow, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip today. The lack of control. I just can't help myself. I just can't help myself. Like, I just can't. I can't help myself. This doesn't count loophole. I'm on vacation, I'm sick, it's the weekend, whatever that is, right? It's like, this one doesn't count. The questionable assumption loophole. That one, like if you think about health and fitness, it's kind of like saying, well, it says that it's healthy on the label, or, well, there was a top coach that, she said this. But if you're making that excuse, then somewhere in your brain, you're thinking, I don't know if I really believe it. I just have to justify it. The concern for others loophole. I can't do this because it might make other people feel uncomfortable. I do this one a lot. I'll be out to dinner. If I'm out to dinner like last night with a couple coaches, I feel great ordering healthy. If I'm with people that are like not on the same train, I sometimes feel weird not participating in the same whatever, right? It's like, oh, I don't want to make them uncomfortable. Why does that matter? I still have my own goals, but I totally notice myself doing that one. Fake self-actualization loophole. You only live once. Embrace the moment. I only live once. You know what? I really don't want to work this business today, or I don't have the time to do it right now because you only live once and I want to go enjoy this instead. One coin loophole. What difference does it make if I break my habit this one time? What difference does it make? I'm just going to do it one time. I'm going to skip doing this one time. What's the big deal? How much can it affect me? So why do we make the excuses in the first place? Before I get into that, anyone have anything to share? Like, was there any one of those that you're like, whoa, that was such a moment for me? Anybody?
All of them.
Oh, go ahead. Who wants to talk first?
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Where can I find the calendar that you were talking about before? Because I was looking for it this morning and I could not find it anywhere.
The challenge group calendar?
Yeah.
Okay, so the best way, it's posted on Team Inspired. The best way to find it is there's a little search bar in every group, and you want to kind of like search a word that you could think of. So maybe you could put calendar and it should pop up. Because it's one of the posts and it's like kind of hard to find it. Then I think, Jennifer, you said something, was that you?
Yes, I said kind of all of them.
Right? Like, I'm sure we can all like think of every single one and be like, oh my God, I've been there.
Probably not like every day, but there's kind of something that's always in the back of my mind.
So why do we make them, you guys? And keep in mind, you can make an excuse for something that you're not excited about, or you don't have a goal. Like if something's not important to me, I have every right to say, I don't want to do that. I don't have the time for it. Really, it's not a priority. That's not a problem. You don't have to do everything perfectly. I'm specifically talking about excuses when it comes to goals that we make. It's like you made the goal yourself. I made the goal myself. So why am I making an excuse? Because it really comes down to one thing, and that's fear. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of success, fear of change, fear of uncertainty, fear of responsibility, fear of making mistakes, and a perceived lack of confidence or resources. I'm going to really dive into this right now because I was talking to Jen about this elite goal that I have. And I know you guys have heard me talk about it a lot, but I don't know if you really know what goes into it once we kind of go into qualification. And I was telling her, like, once we hit 5 diamonds, and then the points and all of that. So once we hit, we have to hold it for 6 weeks. But holding that means I have to, for every single 5 diamond, make sure that every single human under those diamonds and every single emerald and every single humans under those emeralds do not lose their rank. Like they cannot go inactive for 6 weeks at the exact same time. Then we have all these other buckets with points in them. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's very hard to keep one person from not losing a rank, let alone do the math. It's minimum 50 people, right? 8 diamonds and then 8, 9, 10, 12 times 5, minimum 60 people that have to all minimum hold rank at the exact same time. At the same time, 40 of my PS coaches rank at the same time. So when I think about that, I do have a little bit of a fear of success. Why do I have a fear of success? I want success. I do want the success, but knowing what goes into it is a little bit scary. It's like, oh my God, it's going to be painful. You know, what's going to be really painful too is if 59 people are active and one person isn't. And that's why we don't hit the elite goal. Because that's a possibility, guys. It happens. So then what do people do? They make an excuse. It's like, you know what? Honestly, this year, like I kind of had a late start. I didn't really have people early on in the year hit. I'll just go for it next year. It makes a lot more sense. We can hit early. We'll be able to hold it. And if we miss, we have the whole year to go back to it. This year, it's only my second year. It's only my second year as a coach. So I'll hit next year. It'll be a lot easier. My team's rocking and rolling. We're in a much better place. I was working corporate like part of last year. I was working at the gym. Like this year, I'll be more focused. No big deal. My team's gonna, they get it. It's just, we're all great. Who cares if I don't hit this year? That excuse sounds really good, right? That's a really good excuse. And if I said that, I don't think anyone would be like, oh my God, she's a loser, right? You guys aren't gonna think I'm a loser if I say it like that. It doesn't make me a loser. It makes me, I have to reevaluate that goal that I put down. So instead of putting the excuse out, I need to change my goal. And my goal needs to say, okay, well, I'm not going to be an elite coach. I'm not going to hit this goal next year. Because if I don't hit elite this year, I have to change next year's goal. And I got to change the goal after that. The other problem with this attitude is you constantly make the excuse. Just because I push it from this year, I'm probably going to miss next year too. It doesn't usually work that way where you push the goal and then you end up hitting it the next time. I am better off failing. Really, failure is not a bad thing. If I kill myself and I push and I'm like, I don't care, whatever it takes, we're going to go for this goal. And then we have 59 people active and one person isn't active and we end up missing. I gave it my best, right? At that point, what else can I do? I actually will say, I failed at the final step, but at least I gave it my all up until then. And I will have a stronger next year because of it. So when we make those excuses to pull ourselves out of the race towards our goal, it's usually because we have a fear of one of these things or multiple things. So what are the consequences of making those excuses? You start living a life that has a lack of responsibility and growth. You start creating self-limiting beliefs. You end up having massive regret. I've had that before where I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I regret not doing that differently because I walked away from something and I never hit that goal. I regret not doing that differently, but you can't go back and change it. And you tend to have a persistent, pessimistic outlook on life. So when is it an excuse or when is it really something that you can't do? You're better off failing, guys. It's always an excuse. Just go for it and fail. Failure is not the problem. There's a quote that I want you to look up when we get off the call, and it's by Teddy Roosevelt. Yes. And it's called, just look this up, The Man in the Arena. The Man in the Arena. And it talks about a man in the arena who fights and fights, and it says he is covered in blood and tears. And he says he would rather be the man in the arena who fails than part of those timid souls who know neither failure nor defeat. Meaning, you are better off failing than making an excuse and not going for it. It's always an excuse. You're better off. Failing is not an excuse. Failing is, I gave it my all and I failed. And guess what? When you fail, you set that next goal and you have this like power inside of you. You're like, I am going for this. Nothing will stop me. Failure actually is fuel. But excuses, you get really good at them. Who's the best person at convincing you of something? Ourselves, right? Like I can convince myself of anything. I can convince myself of any excuse and make myself feel like it's a good excuse. I'm sure when Stacy woke up today, she had a really good excuse. I'm really sick. I mean, her voice is sick, guys. You guys heard it, right? She could have easily said that. Not to say that she isn't sick, but jumped on the call, you know, and all of you are on this call. Every single one of us has an excuse to not be on the call. Everybody has an excuse to not be on the call. If you really wanted to convince yourself of that. So from now on, like, how do you get out of this cycle of excuses? The best thing that you can do is to change your goal because it doesn't feel good. And the minute you start changing the goal, you're like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to go with that excuse anymore. So think about that 30-day goal. Think about your, 36 months and 3 years. Think about that goal. And next time you have an excuse, tell yourself, you know, I'm going to change the goal instead. You may think twice. Because for me, when I have a really good excuse, I'm okay with the excuse. But when I think about changing the goal, I'm like, no, I still want the goal. I still want that. Right? I don't want to have to change my goal. I was on a call as I was picking up Jen from the airport on Thursday. It was for all of the people in the West that were close to hitting elite, but not there yet. So all of us are close, but we're not there. And I think maybe 7 of us were on the call. It wasn't a lot. Excuse me. I'm going to tell you guys right now, they asked us, so Doug Moss was on the call, who's corporate, and you guys might know who Doug Moss is because he does all the corporate stuff. He goes around, he's like, okay, what do you need to get there? I can't tell you how many people responded to that question with nothing but excuses. This is literally what I heard. It was like, well, you know, for me, like I have like a couple girls, but honestly, like they just became coaches this year, and I really don't feel like I don't know if they can do it. And for me, like I've just been really busy, and I'm just like, why are you on this call? Just like stop saying you're gonna go for it. Don't change your goal. Like don't go for elite because you just gave Doug Moss like a whole laundry. He didn't say what's your excuse. He said, what is it gonna take for you to get there? And you just gave this, it was actually really uncomfortable for me. I remember thinking like, I'm so excited to be part of this call. Like they invited me, that means I'm close. And I get on this call and it was like excuse after excuse. And I kept thinking like, if you have all these excuses, imagine what your team has, how many excuses they must have. Not one person had an excuse that I like was like, wow, oh my God, you're still pushing with that excuse. It was all stuff. And guys, maybe that excuse is real. Just change your goal. Like don't hop on the call. Not this call. Don't hop on the elite call. Change your goal. Like you need to just tell Doug Moss, you know, Doug, I think I'm going to change my goal. I'm not going to go for elite. It was uncomfortable. So that's my best advice, you guys. And when I was like reading up on excuses and everything, it really comes down to just change the goal. And it feels so uncomfortable to change it. You might think twice, because we love our goals. You don't pick shitty goals, right? You don't pick a goal that sounds awful. How many of you on here would not like to hit your goal? No, we pick goals that make us feel good. So we don't want to change them. The other thing I'm going to tell you is, how often do you write your goal down? So in the beginning of this year, I'm going to find this book for you guys that I got. Where is my, oh, it's right here. In the beginning of this year, I got this book called The Freedom Journal. It's all about, it says, accomplishing your number one goal in 100 days. I didn't hit it in 100 days, but I will tell you, my goal was to be a 5-star elite diamond. Every single day for 100 days, in the morning and evening, you have to write in this book. And every single day, the first thing it tells you have to do is write that goal down. So every day for 100 days, I wrote down, I will be a 5-star diamond elite coach. I will be a 5-star diamond elite coach. I will be a 5-star diamond elite coach. Even though I didn't hit it in 100, if we do it this year, it's going to have a lot to do with the fact that I wrote that goal down. I'm still writing that goal down. Like, I started doing these like affirmations. I am a 5-star diamond elite coach. I am. And it goes on like all these other things. So write it down. You don't have to get the book. You can. It's a really good book. But regardless, write down your goal. The more you write it down, the less you're going to have really good excuses, because you're so committed to that goal that you don't want to lose it. All right, let's break this call up and have you guys chime in. I want to hear what you think. How come I can't unmute you guys for some reason? Jess, I can't unmute you. Oh, there we go.
One.
So jump in for me. Stacey, I'm just gonna unmute you.
Yeah.
Unmute you. Okay, you jump in, guys. Share. This is a safe call.
I thought it all was amazing. Really good. I liked how you went through the excuses, and then you went through like the fears that they come from, because I've heard like if you procrastinate things, you're usually doing it because there's something you're afraid of. So just having that in front of you again to realize the reason that you're doing it. And then, you know, when you said like, if you are making excuses, change your goal. And typically we make a change when we're in pain. And so when you think of changing your goal, it's a lot more pain than the excuse. So it's really good.
Yeah, I do not want to have to change my goal. So that is a huge motivator.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't feel good to change, especially a goal that you feel like you can actually do, you know? What else? So one other thing that has worked for me personally is a lot of times I'll think about my excuse, and then I'll tell myself, is there anybody else out there who probably had this excuse and did it anyways? And you have to have a little bit of confidence and ego in yourself when you do this, when you handle it this way. Because then I'll say this. I'm like, is there anybody else out there? I'm like, I'm sure there is. I know somebody else out there. And for me personally this year, it was miscarriage in June. And then I don't know if you guys know, but I just had another one in September. And this is not a pity party. I'm just sharing. It's like right before this goal. I really wanted to say like, oh my God, I'm not in a mental state to do this goal, right? Like I want to say that to myself. And I'm like, okay, am I the first coach? Like we're a female company, like we have so many females here, 450,000 coaches. Am I the only one that has this excuse? And then I'm like, no, of course not. I bet there's people that have had 10 times worse excuses, like, you know, things that are much bigger than what I've had this year. And then I have to be a little cocky and say, they are not better than me. You've got to believe that in yourself, you guys. They are not better than me. If that person can get past their excuse, I am equal or better. Like that person is not better than me. You have to tell yourself that. So think about the excuse. Think of, is there anybody else out there? And then be a little cocky about it, you guys. Have some ego, have some confidence in yourself, and tell yourself, there is no way that person, whoever that person is better than me, right? If they can get past it, I can get past it. Right? You got to kind of have that little chip on your shoulder. Yep. I was telling Kristen today, I'm like, I love it when people have chips on their shoulder because you like fight a little harder, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Ask yourself that. Like, is there anybody else out there who has this good excuse? Whatever it is. Maybe it's not a life excuse. Maybe it's a business excuse. You know, I don't have the market. I don't have support from my spouse. I don't, whatever that is. Am I the only person that has this excuse? Probably not. All right, you guys. One final assignment. This is totally optional. If you would like to share your goal with me, just shoot me a message after the call. I always think sharing the goal is awesome. And since we haven't really done, I know some of your goals, but since we haven't done that in a while, if you'd like to share your 30, 6-month, and 1 year, go for it. Or sorry, 3 year. Send it over. And then finally, we do have a few more days left in Success Club. And I'll tell you guys right now, the excuse, what's the excuse? It's only 3 more days and I have no idea how I'm gonna hit Success Club. So what would a CEO do? How many invites can you send? Right? Like start inviting like crazy. Right? Like, I mean, that's that question right there. Start inviting. Start sending messages. Power through. If you miss, but you're fighting till the end, failure is a good thing. Failure is not the enemy here, right? But if you don't try and you miss, you're going to keep doing that forever. You better change your goal. So send out those invites, as many as you can. If you fail in the last minute, failure is fuel. I'm going to finish with one final thing. One of the companies I left, like really the company that I kind of built my career at, I shared this with Jen yesterday. I hit really high ranks in that company. I broke some records, but I don't think she knew when I told her that my first year there, I missed my quota every single month for an entire year. Every single month for an entire year. I did not hit my team number. I had a team. We did not hit our number for an entire year. Every year after that, we didn't just hit, we ranked in the top. And we literally the day before I quit, we broke a 10-year record. But the first year, the entire year, 12 months in a row, never hit our number one time. So failure is not the problem. Don't be scared of it, you guys. Failing does not make you a loser. Not trying, that's really what in my book, if I don't try, I'm a loser. But failing, no big deal. Don't be embarrassed from it. Don't shy away from it. Don't be scared of it. All right, you guys. Have a happy Sunday. I love starting my week with you guys. And reach out if you need anything, especially if you're hitting for a Success Club goal and you need my help. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Hey, bye. Thank you.